Again, by broad with a O and A refers to something that is wide or big. Okay? How about the brood? It's about thinking deeply of something that makes us unhappy. It's like overthinking. Okay? Alright. Now, before we proceed in terms of discussing our main lesson for today, let us first listen to this song. Oops. Can you hear it, Aram? Okay.
Where is my brown dog? Where is my very little brown dog? Where is my brown dog? Where is my very little brown dog? Is it under the chair? Is it behind the box over there? Is it next to the door? Is it somewhere right here on the floor? Is my dog outside? I know my little dog likes to hide. Is it close to the car? I know my little dog won't go far. Where is my brown dog? Where is my very little brown dog? Where is my brown dog? Where is my very little brown dog?
Alright, and that ends our song for today. Did you understand the song, Emily? Now, what is your understanding of this song? Can you share me something? The song is about
prepositions of place.
Oh wow, so you actually answered the correct word that we're looking for. So that is the exact term actually that we're going to discuss for today. But before that, let's take a look in these sentences. So we have, is it under the chair? Is it behind the box over there? Is it next to the door? Is it somewhere right here on the floor? So what would the sentences be like without these worded words or these bolded or highlighted words? Do you think you can still see, especially their position, if we remove these words in color red? Yeah, alright, that is correct because it will now be confusing. For example, is it the chair? So what chair are we talking about? Is it the box over there? So where is it? It's actually kind of vague or it's kind of confusing. So just like what you said, those words are actually called as prepositions. I think you already have a background knowledge with these two prepositions. Is that correct? Are you already familiar with the term preposition? Yes. Okay, so let's have a quick recap. What do we mean when we say preposition? According to this, usually it is composed of short words only, and it connects or relates one word to another. Now, there are many types of preposition. However, the focus of today's session is about the prepositions of place, just like what you said, and the prepositions of time. Are you familiar with these two kinds of preposition or two types of preposition, Remly? A while ago, I can see that you're already familiar with the prepositions of place. How about the prepositions of time? You're already familiar as well with this one, so that's great. Let's start with the prepositions of place. So here are some common prepositions of place. Just like in the song earlier, we have the dog is sleeping under the table. So when we say under, meaning to say the position of this dog looks like this if we can visualize it. How about when we say the dog is sleeping on top of the table? So if we can imagine it based from the words here, on top of, meaning to say, if we visualize it, it will look like this one. How about this one? The dog is sleeping in front of the table. So meaning to say, it will look like the picture as you can see. The dog is sleeping behind the table. Alright? So meaning to say, it will look like this. That certain scenario will look like that. Another one. The dog is sleeping next to the table. So the dog will be here, the table will be here. The dog is sleeping beside the table. Do you think it has the same meaning with the sentence, the dog is sleeping next to the table?
Yes.
Yes, because we have many prepositions of place. How about this one? The dog is sleeping near the table. Do you think it will still look like this?
Yes.
Alright, so that is great. When we say the dog is sleeping next to the table, beside the table, or near the table, we can all imagine these sentences as something that looks like this. This is the dog, and this is the table. The dog is next to, beside, or near the table. Let's have an exercise. So with the photo I will show in the next slide, describe where certain things are using prepositions of place. Now we will have the choices in that one. And then kindly send your answers in our chat box. So meaning to say, with the use of this photo, you're going to create a sentence. Okay, so you will just based on this object. So the objects that we have here are window, the green rug over here, the plant here, and the chair, this one, the basketball hoop is this one. Okay, and then of course we have here the prepositions. Again, we have under. Let me demonstrate it for you as well so that it will be clear. So I have a cup here. You see the cup, and I have an eraser as well. Okay, so when we see under, it looks like this one. The eraser is under the cup. The eraser is in front of the cup. The eraser is next to the cup. The eraser is on top of the cup. The eraser is behind the cup. And the eraser is beside the cup or near the cup. This can also be beside the cup. This can also be near the cup. This can also be next to the cup. Alright, so let's have a quick exercise first before you proceed in creating this one. So what do we mean when we have the cup here? What do we make use? The eraser.
The eraser is on top of the cup.
Very good. How about next one?
The eraser is under the cup.
Very good. How about this one?
The eraser is behind the cup.
How about this one?
The cup is beside the cup.
The cup is beside the cup. Can you try to
The
restate
eraser
that?
is beside the
Your
cup.
cup is a little bit. Alright, that is correct. How about this one?
The eraser is next to or near the cup.
Alright, very good. So I can see that you do understand that demonstration that we have earlier. Now this time, are you ready to craft your own sentences randomly using these objects? Of course, you do not have to limit with these objects that we listed because of course, we have other items in here. It's just your option, okay? So kindly list sentences and just send it here in our chat box. Good luck, Ramli.
Oh. This is table.
Alright, very good. Are you referring to this table or to this table? Is it the green one or the green and orange one?
The green one.
The green one. Alright, very good. Great job, Randy. And that is how we create a sentence through the use of prepositions. Now, let's take a look at these more examples. Now, since we're talking about the prepositions of place, we can say, I live in Pasig City. I live on Nara Street. I live at 17 Nara Street. So, what is the difference between the usage of in, on, and at? So, we'll be learning that as well. So, the difference in using in, on, and at when it comes to prepositions of place, we can compare it to the inverted pyramid like this one. So we'll start with the in, on, then the very bottom will be at. Why is it inverted pyramid? So with this one, as you can see, the wider or the broader the space we have in pyramid, meaning to say that also refers to a broad information or a general information. And of course, we are narrowing it down, meaning to say if we have general information, we'll get to the very specific. That's why we have the in very general position, on, and then the most specific one is the word at. What do we mean by that? For example, when we are referring to the prepositions of place, particularly in terms of countries, for example, we say countries, cities, and villages, we will be using the word in. Okay? For example, in Korea, in Pasig City, in Vista Village, alright? So we have the general one. It's not very specific. The country, the cities, and then the villages. How about if we added an information? We now have the streets, the avenues, and then the surfaces, just like the table earlier. We'll now be using the word on. On Nara Street, on 7th Avenue, on the table.
Yes.
Do you get that one? Okay. How about we added more informations again when it comes to the place. Therefore, we can now add addresses and other specific locations. For example, we have our house number, our street. In one sentence, we'll have at 17 Nara Street. At the train station. So that the train station is a very specific location. At the convenience store. Okay, so those are the examples of the prepositions of places. Again, we make use of in, on, and then at. Okay, do you get that one?
In the.
Yes, come again. Alright. Now let's have an exercise. Can you try to give another, let's try to match this. Earlier, I said that when we refer to countries, cities, villages, we make use of in. If we refer to streets, avenues, and surfaces, we use on. And if we make use of addresses and other specific location, we use the preposition at. For example, these are the word banks that we have. Example, Impala Street. So it is a street. So what am I going to use? So I will be putting it here on Impala Street. Can you try to choose another word bank?
In Marikina City.
Marikina City. And you said in. Very good. So that is located here in Marikina City. Why is that? Because it is a city. Another one, Ramli. That is correct. Very good.
In Singapore.
In Singapore, that is also correct because Singapore is a. What is a Singapore? What type of place is that? Is it a city? Is it a street? What type of a place is that? Singapore is a
Country.
country. Very good. That's why we'll be using the preposition in. How about this one? 8 Magsaysay Street. So we have the house number and then the street name. Are we going to use in or at?
Yung ano po?
If we are going to use this one, 8 Magsaysay Street, are we going to use in, on, or at?
On.
Alright, so I can see why did you answer on. But actually, for this one, the correct answer is at. Why is that, ma'am? Teacher, we have the street. Although I mentioned earlier that we'll be using the word on or the preposition on if we are referring to the street, right? And it is indeed correct if we just use Magsaysay Street. However, we have a number in here. This number is about your house number. So it's very specific. So if you have a number in front of the street, then you'll be using the preposition at. At 8 Magsaysay Street. But if you do not have a number, just Magsaysay Street alone, then we'll use on Magsaysay Street. Is that correct? Is that clear, Ramli?
Yes.
Alright, so let's try again. How about when I say 25 Romulo Street?
At the.
Very good, Ramli. How about when I say Romulo Street alone? We do not have a number.
On Romulo Street.
Very good. Okay, and that is how we use the prepositions in, on, and at when we are referring to the types of places. Did you get that, Ramli?
Yes.
Alright, very good. Now, just like what I said earlier, aside from prepositions of place, we'll also learn about the preposition of time. That is correct. So, we have these sentences. So, for example, my birthday is in December. My birthday is on December 30. My birthday starts at 12 a.m. Now, teacher, how do we know if we'll be using the prepositions in, on, and at if we are referring to the time? Okay? So, it's similar with the prepositions of place. We also have this pyramid. We also have in on top of the pyramid because again, it contains a broad information, a general information. And then as we try to narrow down and provide more specific details, it boils down to at. So we have in for a general information that refers to time, on, and then the specific at. What do we mean by that? So, what are the time expressions that we have? How are we going to use, or when are we going to use the preposition in when we are referring to the preposition of time? So we have here years in 2000, or months in April, in January, and February, in March, in April. So we make use of that. Excuse me. Alright. So another one. So when we are referring to the preposition of time that deals with the long period, it's like for example, the winter, summer, spring, the seasons that we have will also be using in. Okay? What are the other long periods? So for example, when we say in the morning, because the morning actually covers a lot of time. You can start with 6 a.m. up until like 11 a.m., right? So that is very general in the morning. Now, how about we try to add the days, the dates, the holidays, and the words with the day. So, for example, on Monday, so those are the days. So, when I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can make use of the preposition on. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday. You can also try to add the dates. For example, if earlier we're just referring to months alone, if I say just April, then you'll make use of the preposition in April. But what if we add a specific date number? April 3. So we'll be using on April 3. So what if we're referring to a birthday? On my birthday, so that is the preposition that we'll use. On Easter Day, so in every occasion that we have, or the holidays, for example, we'll also be using the preposition on. Do you get that one, Randy?
Yes.
Alright. Now, how about when it comes to very, very specific time expression? Just like, for example, the precise time. For example, 8 a.m., 8 o'clock, 1 p.m., for example. So we'll make use of the preposition at. At 8 a.m., 8 o'clock. And then, another one, the hours. For example, is it noon? Is it sunrise? Is it bedtime? So we'll be using at. At sunrise, at noon, at bedtime. Alright, the parts of the day. Now, teacher, why did you say that we have to make use of the preposition at when we are trying to refer to the parts of the day? Why is the noon should have the preposition at? Meanwhile, the morning will make use of the preposition in. Isn't it the same? Now, just like earlier, I said that in morning, it covers a lot of time. From 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. If we're referring to just morning and day, it can also refer to 6 a.m. until to 5 p.m. But when we say noon, does it cover the entire afternoon? No, right? It's just very specific. So it's between like the late afternoon and almost evening as well. So that is still specific. Alright, so that's why we'll be using the preposition at. Do you get that, Randy?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, let's try. So try to write the time right now using in, on, and the at, and send it to the chat box. So for example, I am currently having class at 3:30 a.m. on April 3 in the year 2001. So let's just recreate this. Do you agree that today is already 9:30 a.m.? No, just try to replace everything that we have here. I am currently having my class at, what time is it today? At
3, 40
Is it AM or PM? PM, very good. On, what is the month?
December 10
In the year?
in the year 2024.
Alright, very good. Can you try to say the entire sentence once again? I am currently having class at 3:40 p.m. on December 10 in the year 2024. Can you try to say that?
I am currently having a class at 3:40 p.m. on December 10 in the year 2024.
Alright, very good, Ramli. So that is how we write a sentence with precise time, particularly the correct use of prepositions of time. Now you can now therefore create sentences. You can now be confident if someone asks you, what day is today? What time are we going to have a class? So you can try creating your own sentences now. So just like earlier from the word bank that I will give, kindly sort it out again. So for example, we have here midnight. As I said, does midnight covers the entire night? No, it's just very specific. For example, 12 o'clock or 12 a.m. So that refers to midnight. That's why it's very specific, and we will use the preposition of time at. How about the others? Here, try to select a word bank that we have here.
In January.
Very good. In January. Why is that? What do we call the January? It is a
Month.
month. Very good. How about the next one? We have 3 p.m. Is 3 p.m. an exact time? Alright, therefore, we'll be using, is it in, on, or at?
At 3
At.
p.m.
Very good. So when we say 3 p.m., we'll make use of the preposition at 3 p.m. So when we say precise time, precise means exact, very specific. Okay, that's why we'll make use of the preposition at. How about this one? Not that one. Let me have another one. How about Christmas? Christmas Day, for example.
On Christmas Day.
Very good. Because Christmas is actually a holiday, just like this Independence Day. How about this one? June 10. We have a number, we have an exact date, not just month alone. June 10.
On June 10.
Alright, excellent. Very good, Ramli. So we'll be using the preposition on June 10 because it has a month and it also have the exact date. How about when we just say June alone? June. Are we going to use in, on, or at?
In.
Alright, because it doesn't have a number. It just have the month. Very good, Remly. So that's it for the preposition of time. We just have it. Alright. So let me give you, I think you have an assignment in here. Yeah. So let me just discuss first and let's summarize first what we learned for today. So again, what we learned today is about the prepositions of place and prepositions of time. Okay, so what can you remember when it comes to the word preposition? So from the word itself, when you say position, right? So it shows direction, it shows time, it shows place. That is what preposition is all about. It tries to connect something to another word. It shows either direction or place or time depending on its function. Just like we have here, the prepositions of time and the prepositions of place. Now, what are we going to learn next session? Next session, we'll be learning about different types of verbs, particularly the action verbs, the linking verbs, and then the helping verbs. Are you already familiar with these different types of verbs, Ramli?
Only the action.
Only the action verb. Alright, so next session, we'll be learning the other types of verbs as well. But before that, of course, for you not to forget the lesson that we have just earlier about the prepositions, may it be the prepositions of time, the prepositions of place, I will also leave you an enrichment assignment. Okay? So, we have this one. I will also upload this in our Google Classroom, so don't worry. So you can also try to print it out again if you have the means. Or if you do not have a printer, then you can use a paper and pen. But with this one, all you have to do is that we have here a situation. Imagine you won a lottery and you can buy your dream house. So describe your ideal house or dream house and where certain things will be placed. So remember the picture that I showed you earlier, so you can try to imagine your own house. So you can limit your description to 1 to 2 rooms so that you do not have a lot of things to describe. But use each of the following prepositions at least once and then circle them in your sentence. So for you to visualize first your items inside your dream house, you can draw it first so that it will serve as your guide because it's kind of hard to create sentences right without the use of our imagination. That's why I demonstrated an item earlier. So with this assignment, you can try to draw and I am confident that you're actually good at drawing. Do you enjoy drawing, Remly? Alright, have you ever draw your dream house before? Not yet. Not yet. So you can try to be specific with this one. For example, you can try your dream room or your dream playroom inside the house. So you can be specific so that you can create items or draw items, and then of course you'll be using these prepositions. Okay? So you'll have the description of your dream house. For my dream house, I want a giant TV in my bedroom. So meaning to say inside the bedroom. So you'll be using the preposition. And then you, of course, you'll describe the other items in your dream house associated with your drawing. Oh, we also have here the prepositions of time. All you have to do is to answer these questions. Of course, with the use of the preposition of time. Just like what we did earlier when I asked you. Can you try to create a sentence with our specific time, date, and year today, and you answered earlier. So you can just do that once again. Don't worry, Ramli, I'll be uploading the material as well, this PowerPoint, so that you'll have a guide. For example, what preposition should I use again when I'm referring to the year? So you can look back at this. You can try to review first before answering this one. Okay, is that clear, Ramli? Do you have any question before we end this one? None? Alright, so with that, thank you so much much once again, Ramli, for your active participation, and happy drawing and writing with regards to your assessment or your assignment. I'll see you again next session. Thank you very much, Ramli. You may now leave the meet. Bye bye.